Weekdays by 7:30 a.m. and by 6:30 p.m. every Monday and Tuesday on Splash 105.5 FM. Join us on the planet where sports lovers live. Sports Bang. Get the big picture. Get the whole story. We keep you sports on.
Time to talk about sports.
Let's talk sport. On Sports Bet. Only on Splash. 105.5 FM.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Thursday morning here on Splash 105.5. It's 7:33. And it's time for sports.
Time for sports.
Good morning, Blessing.
Good morning, Chacha. How you doing?
Fine. I mean, just before we turned on the mic, we're talking off air about Serena Williams and the heartbreaking exit
for me as well.
from the Australian Open.
Well. It was really heartbreaking. I mean, she lost this morning to Naomi Osaka, and it was crazy because she's been having a good tournament. She's done so well. She's found a way back into her rhythm. Movements has been good. Form has been great as well. So we thought she could go all the way. And then her last game against Simona Halep was a very tough one. It stretched her, but she still came out tops. But of course, against Naomi Osaka, you're always going to hope for a miracle because Osaka is the real deal at the moment.
So would it shock you if Osaka loses in the?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. It would be an absolute shocker because the world number one Ashley Barty is out. Many of the top contenders are out. The person should be playing the final between Jennifer Brady and I can't remember her name. Karolina Muchova. I mean, these are names that are not, so consistent when it comes to the Champions League. So it's all ours to lose at this point in time.
Okay, so we keep our fingers crossed again for another Open and hope that Serena Williams will do it.
Yes, indeed, we are keeping our fingers open. Keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that sometime soon, number 24 will come in for Serena Williams. Well, we'll talk about that this morning on Sports Bang, and not just a word of tennis. We've got many talking points from football as well. The UEFA Champions League from last night. I got my wish at the end of the day. I got my wish. If you listen to Just Football yesterday, I was talking about how I hoped that we would have, what we had with Kylian Mbappe on Tuesday, we would have it again on Wednesday with Erling Haaland, and exactly that happened. This man came up clutch for the team. Got 2 goals with 1 assist. 24 hours after Kylian Mbappe announced himself as Europe's potential new goal-scoring top dog with his Camp Nou hat-trick, Haaland served warning of his intention to be the Cristiano Ronaldo to the Frenchman's Lionel Messi or vice versa. If such comparison seems a little premature, Mbappe and Haaland are now responsible for 28 goals, Champions League goals since the start of last season. Messi and Ronaldo have 15 between them in the same time. So, of course, as Mbappe did against Barcelona, it was Erling Haaland who terrorized Sevilla with his power and pace. So welcome to Sports Bank this morning. You can find us on our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter at Splash FM 1055 on Twitter and search for Splash 105.5 FM Ibadan there on Facebook, and stream us live this morning as well. And also join our conversations with your comments. Talking about the Champions League, Erling Haaland and the game against Sevilla yesterday. Also talking about Manchester City, who have opened up 10 points lead, top of the table, and Serena Williams falling short yet again of a 24th Grand Slam title. What's next for her? That's what we want to talk about this morning. Find us on our social media platform and join the discussion. My name is Blessing Fowowe. My friends are here. Feromi Adeboyega is here and Faith Adedeji is here. We're going to start off from the Champions League this morning. Porto defeating Juventus 2-1. Early goals in either half gave Porto the advantage for the first leg, and it was also Porto's first ever victory against Juventus in the Champions League. Yesterday on Just Football, Faith and the AY pretty much gave it to Juventus as a straightforward victory, but sorry guys, it didn't work out.
Yeah, good morning, Blessing. Good morning, Feromi, and of course to our esteemed listeners as well. It's another wonderful Thursday morning, and it's time for Sports Bank. Well, maybe we'll say these things happen in the world of football. Anyone would have given it to Juventus, but then we all understand that when you go into the knockout stages of the Champions League, you can expect upsets like this and big games, big performances from teams like this, and that was what we saw from Porto last night. It was more about the team that wanted him more. You can't give away goals as early as the first minute of games, in that kind of fashion, and then you expect to win games. That was what we saw from Juve. They were so lackadaisical and so lackluster at the back yesterday. And when you don't get to defend well, you concede those kind of goals. There's a way goals tend to give the defense of the opposing team that motivation to go on, and then that was what we saw. And Porto were able to get that win. Maybe the away goal will be able to will stand as an advantage for Juve in the second leg. That is left to be seen.
So you still see them going through?
Well, yeah, they have a chance. They have a chance, obviously.
They have a chance.
Definitely. Good morning to you.
Okay, Ferrovi, good morning. Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund 3-2 away from home.
I mean, that's even the surprise of the night for me, based on the performance that Borussia has actually, shown over the last couple of games. They've been so awful when it comes to in their league right there. They've not actually shown that consistency. So I was expecting them to, go up against Sevilla, and probably Sevilla should do what they know how to do best, defeat them. Because, talking about Sevilla before that game, they've actually shown a lot of consistency. They defeated Barcelona in the Copa del Rey first leg, and, hoping that they would be able to bounce back on that and continue with that kind of run. But hey, looks like, and when it comes to Champions League, never say never. There's a kind of different spirit that comes to playing in the Champions League, and I think that is what Borussia Dortmund has been able to imbibe in this particular game. And of course, kudos to Erling Haaland. I mean, that young man is an amazing talent. 40 goals in 42 games for Borussia Dortmund since they actually made his debut. That's something really, really exceptional. So I think it's not over yet. The lot of goals that was actually scored yesterday made things very wide open. Anything can still happen. I still don't trust Borussia Dortmund. They can still falter even at home. But then, they've actually put one leg into that particular, next round. So all they need to do is make sure that they actually keep things tight at the back in the second leg, and hopefully they can qualify to the next round.
Well, Alan, after that game, said Kylian Mbappe's hat-trick for PSG against Barcelona on Tuesday was what gave him the motivation. I'm looking at the rivalry between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. At some point, we thought it was going to be a rivalry between Eden Hazard and Neymar.
Yeah.
Both players similarly are falling off the radar for me, but do you see this as something that could grow up to be that sort of rivalry, Haaland versus Kylian Mbappe?
Well, I'm always very cautious when we're comparing young players. We already know about the talent. We know about the world-class talent these guys possess. But then what will happen in the next 3-4 years, we cannot just say, because several things can come into play. Maybe a big injury worry for one of them, and that will be it. Or maybe inconsistency here and there, and then it will fall off the radar, it will fall off the pecking order and all that. These things can happen. So maybe right now, if you had to actually say that, then we'll say that the next big things in the world of football, it will be Haaland against Mbappe. But then I would like to be a little bit cautious and still check it out for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think I want to totally agree with him, because it's not, though it's good how well you've actually started, but what really matters, what really puts you at the top level is your consistency, is how long you can continue to give that wonderful, mind-blowing, match-winning performances, when you actually get those opportunities. So that's what really matters. So how do you actually handle it? Maybe if you go on an injury, do you come back still having that kind of fitness, still having that kind of performance? These things coupled together makes you at the best of the best. That is what the likes of Messi and Ronaldo have been able to do. You don't see them every season. They give us those double numbers. They give us those consistency, and that's what really matters. So I think, they've started well, but let's see if they can actually keep up with this kind of pace that they've actually started with.
And hopefully they continue to inspire and motivate each other,
Definitely.
Just like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi did to each other. Europa League later today, Dynamo Kiev against Club Brugge, Red Star Belgrade against AC Milan, Real Sociedad against Manchester United. Adnan Januzaj will be lining up for Real Sociedad in this one against United, and he's been saying a lot of things.
Yeah, he's been talking, he's been in the news, he's been all over our faces, and our ears in the last few days because of that. It's normal when you're going to play against your big rival, or a team that probably made you earlier on. I know journalists who want to hear from you, they want to hear one or two things that probably probably happened when you were with them and all that. But this big game in Turin, it depends on the team that wants it more. We've seen Real Sociedad in spells this season do so well, but then maybe at some other points they've been able to dovetail and all that. But for Manchester United as well, we've seen them in fantastic spells. We've also seen abysmal performances from them here and there. So maybe it's a battle of two inconsistent teams. It depends on who will come to the table or who will show up with the best of performances. But for Manchester United, I think they understand that they need the result because it's looking like the league title is running away from them. They're out of the Carabao Cup, that's the League Cup. They're still in the FA Cup. So maybe they want to have a very good run in Europa League if they want to get their hands on silverware this season.
And Tottenham are going away to RZ Pellets. I do not expect to see an upset in that game, but hey, football is crazy, but of course I don't expect an upset. And Leicester City against Slavia Prague, Sporting Braga against AS Roma, Young Boys against Bayer Leverkusen, and Benfica against Arsenal. I feel like this is going to be a tough time.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a very tricky one. Arsenal has to be very careful, especially going away. They know that, so their away form sometimes have been very, very not convincing enough. And this time around, they are playing at home against Benfica. That's, they know how to hold their own at home. So I think, you must make sure that you do not concede unnecessarily in that particular one and just hope that maybe you can just, do half job there and complete the rest at the Emirates Stadium. So I still think probably they should be able to get something out of this game at the end of the day.
Hopefully they do get something. RB Salzburg against Villarreal, and Napoli are going away to Granada, and Lille and Ajax. I think that's another game to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. You expect that kind of game to maybe give fireworks and provide fireworks. But, Ajax lately, I don't know what has become of them on the European scene. Since that beautiful set we had, was it 2 seasons ago that got to the semi-finals of the Champions League and then got knocked out against Tottenham. Then they've been, faltering here and there on the European scene and all that. So maybe this is the time for Ajax to show us that, they've always shown it. Maybe when they turn out a particular set and then they struggle for 2-3 years, they will still come back again with another set of fantastic players. Then people will come again, pick those players to the big club sides, and then they rebuild again. So rebuilding is not a big problem for Ajax. We've known that over time that they can do this. Maybe I want to see what Ajax will come to the party with against Lille.
And in the English Premier League last night, Manchester City went 10 points up, top of the table. And Carlo Ancelotti, the coach of Everton, believes that City are hurtling towards a third Premier League title in 4 seasons after his Everton side were beaten by the Premier League leaders. I mean, you didn't even have a good one starting that game. Kevin De Bruyne was back in the team.
Yeah, there was no Aguero. That team is just something else at this point in time. I could remember I said something like this at the beginning of the year that I won't be surprised if City goes the remaining season in the Premier League unbeaten. And it's looking like it because I can tell you for fun now that, I don't think there's anybody in the Premier League that can defeat them at this point in time. These guys, they've got that complete synergy in that particular team. Right from the defense to the midfield, going up front, they know what to do, they know when to do it, and that is why they actually getting the wins at this point in time. I mean, look at that fantastic performance from Bernardo Silva yesterday. Phil Foden, these guys are still there, stepping up the base. When you have a very, very good tactical coach that can actually bring the best out of players, this is the kind of team you get at the end of the day. So I think they are unstoppable at this point in time.
When you spend 1 billion,
no. He's not the only one that has actually spent over the few years.
Who else has spent as much as Pep has done?
But he has gotten the results. That's what really matters.
When you spend 1 billion and you've not won the Champions League,
they didn't hire him to come and win the Champions League.
Then what did they hire him?
Are you sure they didn't do that?
I don't think
so. No, they hired him for the Champions League.
If it was hired to come and win the Champions League, probably would have been sacked.
No, they hired him for the Champions League.
He would have been sacked.
Pellegrini won the league.
He won the league as well.
Mancini won the league.
Did they do it in a fantastic fashion like he has done? Winning it back-to-back with the kind of punts he has actually done it. He has dominated the Premier League amazingly. So I think we should give you that.
Is it a question of how he won the league, or being fine? He's won the league consistently, but what about the Champions League? That's also an important part of it.
Yeah, you cannot be a local champion. Win on the continental scene and then we'll know you are one of the best. Winning the league, well, yeah, that is fine. But then step it a notch higher. Do what the managers that have taken up the job before you have not been able to do. So for Guardiola, he has done the norm at Manchester City.
Champions League is no one's league.
When was the last time Guardiola won the Champions League?
He won it with Barcelona the last time. I think that was
2011. That's 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
When was the last time Manchester United won the league?
He said, oh no. And when was the last time Barcelona won the league, Champions League as well?
We just said it.
6 years now.
That was 2015.
Yeah.
6 years ago. So.
That's a lot of
When
time.
was the last time Arsenal won it? Never.
Burnley also played a 1-1 draw with Fulham in the game in the Premier League last night. Here is the BBC Premier League update. They have that game covered up, and of course something from the Europa League as well.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. Manchester City extended their lead at the top of the Premier League to 10 points as they won their 17th consecutive match in all competitions, beating Everton 3-1 at Goodison Park. Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva got the goals for City. Burnley and Fulham drew 1-1 in the Premier League's early game, with Ashley Barnes getting the equaliser for the Clarets after Nigerian international Ola Aina had given Fulham the lead. Burnley boss Sean Dyche felt it was a fair result.
Conceded a really soft goal from our point of view. You know, we should deal with the first contact, but definitely the second contact. But the reaction was fantastic, you know, and a great bit of play from Jay Rodriguez, very clever play, lovely weighted ball to put Barnes in, a good finish. So, you know, we've earned the right overall to at least get a point, I felt.
Fulham have lost just 4 times in their last 15 Premier League matches, but remain 6 points from safety. Their manager, Scott Parker, is already looking ahead to another crucial match at the weekend against bottom club Sheffield United.
Big game for us now at the weekend. 4 points so far this week. Let's go into Sheffield United game now. Let's try and win this game and get 7 points. That'll be huge for us. And 10 points the gap, whatever it was a week ago from the boys above us. I think it's Newcastle to 6. You know, we'll keep fighting it.
Meanwhile, the Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers is looking forward to his side's Europa League match on Thursday against Slavia Prague in the Czech capital. Should the Foxes make it beyond the last 32 of the competition, it would be a first for Rodgers, who failed to get as far as the last 16 while in charge of the Glasgow Giants Celtic.
It's an experience, it's in the past, so I never worry so much because it won't benefit us now. You know, it's one where we wanted to do well in this competition. We now get a tough game against Prague, so but we're all very excited about the European challenge as well, and we want to qualify for the last 16.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, we are back on Sports Bang on Splash 105.5 FM. Marcus Rashford, the Manchester United and England forward, has been named in Time magazine's Next 100 list as someone who is helping shaping the future in recognition of his campaign work on child poverty. The list comprises of athletes, entertainers and political leaders, amongst others, with the 23-year-old appearing under the classification advocates. A 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton was chosen by the American Weekly magazine to write the entry on Rashford. And still on something related to Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson, the former United coach, says his biggest fear was losing his memory after suffering a brain hemorrhage in 2018. Ferguson made the admission before the release of a new film concerning him, Sir Alex Ferguson, Never Giving. That's the title of the film. In the film directed by his son Jason, Ferguson recounted his life stories on and off the pitch. It covers his playing days in Scotland and, of course, the trophy-laden management career he had with Aberdeen and Manchester United. Really, I can imagine what those fears would have been like for him. And I mean, for fans generally, I mean, we miss this man on the touchline, but hey, I mean, Odi just cut up with him.
Yeah, it is what it is. You cannot be there forever. So, when it's time for you to call it quits, you just have to call it quits, and that is it. That is how the world of sport generally is. Maybe when it's time for you to go, we always feel very bad because, we don't want you to go. We want you to be around, but it is inevitable. You cannot be around forever.
Indeed, he can't be around forever. Let's come down to Nigeria. Coach Randy Waldrum, the head coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, yesterday signed his contract with the NFF and started to work with the 9-time African champions. The simple ceremony took place at the Super Falcons Emmy Hotels abode there in Antalya, Turkey. And the president of the NFF, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, affirmed the belief of the football governing body in the ability of the 64-year-old American to propel the Super Falcons to a higher level in women's football in women's football global ranking. Well, the first tournament that is out on with the Super Falcons is the Turkish Women's Cup tournament, which is also known as the Antalya Gold City Cup. It is, in fact, it's starting for the Super Falcons Falcons today. Our first game is exactly a couple of minutes away from now, 8:30 a.m. Nigerian time. We're having the first game against CSK Moscow there, and afterwards on Saturday we'll play against Uzbekistan at 5 p.m. and Equatorial Guinea at on Tuesday, next week Tuesday at 9 a.m. in the morning. That's the first game that we're having today is against CSK Moscow at 8:30 a.m. Meanwhile, the NFF has approved the proposal by a UK-based global information and communication technology service company to embark on the digitalization of certain operations of the Federation alongside developing holistic software to solve the general needs of the football governing body. The company will develop, amongst other platform and solutions, all-in-one media and communication platform for media management, technical team platform, and a third-party performance monitoring management system. That's a game day data management system, record management solution in form of e-library, and online live media platform for viewers that's in pay-per-view format. They're trying to digitalize all operations of the NFF, especially with the Super Falcons, with the national teams, Super Eagles rather, and of course all national teams generally. You'll be seeing them from all the things that the NFF is doing, trying to digitalize their operations there. Hopefully this works at the end of the day. Let's talk boxing real quick. The Nigerian D Tigers became the first team to secure a place at the 2021 Afro Basket Tournament in Tunisia after a hard-fought win against South Sudan in Game 4 of the qualifiers in Monastir yesterday. The Tigers were led by the virtuoso performance of point guard Ike Uregu, who scored 16 points, including 4 from behind the arc, to help Nigeria secure 75-70 win over their opponents, ensuring that the stand-in coach Unfo Mudofia got off to a flyer in his first game in temporary charge of the men's basketball team. Next up for the Tigers is against Rwanda. That's today. But Feromi, it's good that we're qualified, but low-scoring games with the Tigers 75-70.
I mean, should we really be bothered?
We really shouldn't be bothered anyway, but we're happy we qualified.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys have been first in many things. First in, FIBA ranking in Africa, first to qualify for the Olympics. Now we've been first to qualify for the World Cup, and now, for the AfroBasket. I mean, these guys are just really, really amazing, doing well for themselves. They've got the quality, they've got, the talent in that squad, and that is why they're giving us this wonderful result. So I think for me, what really matters is getting that win. What really matters is you getting that result when you actually need them most, and that is what these guys have been able to do at this point in time. So I think, low scoring game, high scoring game, what matters is you have to win those games, and they are doing that. So I don't think we should worry about that.
We shouldn't worry about that. In the NBA, Houston Rockets lost to Philadelphia 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center 113-118. The Portland Trailblazers defeated New Orleans Pelicans 126-124 there. It was Dame Lillard against Zion Williams in that game. Miami Heat lost to Golden State Warriors there at the Chase Center 112-120. Steph Curry coming up clutch in the final moments of that game. It went into overtime and was 3-pointers was a dagger to the heart of Miami Heat in that game. And Utah Jazz defeated LA Clippers 114-96. Just some games some results rather in the games played in the early hours of this morning. And tennis. Yesterday was Rafael Nadal for me, who lost out. He lost out to Stefanos Tsitsipas. That was heartbreaking. But as if that was not enough, this morning, Naomi Osaka dumped out Serena Williams as well.
Well,
I'm hurt, I'm pained.
Well, I've also been in a vacillating, mood since that game actually got concluded, because I was caught in between two emotions. I was not sure if I should be happy that Naomi Osaka won, or I should be unhappy about the fact that Serena Williams lost, because these are two people that maybe we'll say they're favorites. We all want them to win. We also want Serena to equal the record. You want Naomi, who is almost like a younger version of Serena, who is the next big thing.
The younger version. We should put that way, not almost. She is. That was everything Serena was while she was young.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So you look at the kind of athleticism that she brought to the game. In the early hours of this morning, I was watching the game and I just saw that. Well, Serena didn't have a bad game for me. She gave her all. It was just that she came up against a better opponent on the day, because Naomi was faster, was very much faster, was able to find her angles better than Serena's. Of course, Serena still came up with the powerful serves and powerful shots, but then it was just not to be for her. Naomi just came up tops. Maybe like a repeat of the finals of the US Open in 2018 that Naomi also won. So
without the controversial moments.
Yeah, without the whole controversy.
She also had tears for Serena anyway. She was crying in the presses.
Yeah, Naomi has always shown herself to be a big big fan. Anyone that cares to listen, she tells you that, well, I'm a big fan of Serena. That I don't even miss her games. I watch Serena Williams' games every time. That is what she says. So, I'm hoping that Naomi Osaka will be able to do justice to the fact that she has knocked out Serena by winning the tournament.
In fact, I look at the opponents in her
yeah, she's up against Jennifer Brady now because she just won again. Yeah, so
it doesn't look hard.
It doesn't look hard, but don't underrate your opponents.
Don't underrate
that. Really matters.
What are you saying on Facebook this morning? Lokwe David says Haaland is really doing amazing, great on the pitch. His greatness can never be underestimated. Abu Kasimu says good morning to you all. To me, Pep Guardiola is on the verge of winning the EPL with 10 points clear. Two world-class managers, Carlo Ancelotti and Jose Mourinho, cannot challenge for the title. By my own perspective, Carlo Ancelotti with Everton challenge for the title.
He was never going to challenge.
How? Guys, we have to leave on Sports Bank this morning. Thanks for being a part of the show. Feromi, thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Faith, thanks for being here as well.
It's been a pleasure.
I'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning with Winning Friday edition of Sports Bank. My name is Blessing Fuwowe. Have a great Thursday. Au revoir.
Here is